Britain is committing national suicide. Our failure to get to grips with what is happening in the Channel is a disgrace. The bleeding heart Liberal brigade might think that they're being kind, loving and morally good by saying that we should let any Tom, Dick and Harry in across the Channel, but they're actually helping to send this country to the dogs. They are propping up violent crime, organised gangs, costing the taxpayer tens of millions of pounds, contributing to the housing crisis and, of course, putting our national security at risk to boot. Just before I came on air, in fact, the news broke that the number of people crossing the English Channel in small boats has now topped 23,000 for the year. 500 migrants have arrived so far today, and Monday was yet another record day with 1,295 lucky people setting foot on our south coast. Estimates indicate that around 60% of those are, in fact, Albanian. That's the same Albania that hasn't seen a conflict for more than 25 years, is a NATO ally and wants to join the European Union. So, if they're not fleeing war or persecution and they arrive here on a dinghy, what does that make them then? Well, in my book, that makes them illegal economic migrants. And in fact, all too often, they become doubly illegal pretty quickly. They get here illegally and then some engage in illegal activity when they get off the boat. An Albanian immigration source even admitted that many of the new arrivals join organised drug gangs so they can pay off the £5,000 they pay to people smugglers, who, you guessed it, are reportedly predominantly Albanian themselves. In fact, some of them don't even wait to get involved in the black market before they start to commit a crime. Lucy Morton, who represents Border Force staff, said in the last week that 2 staff have been attacked and 3 have even been bitten. Yes, bitten. Does anybody else find the sheer number of young single men coming across the Channel absolutely remarkable? The Home Office revealed that around 90% of arrivals in 2021 were in fact male. Isn't this strange though? Just have a look at what's happening in Ukraine at the moment. That's a real war, isn't it? It's the women and the children who are fleeing and the men who are staying. I spoke to a former SAS soldier on Monday who's just got back from Ukraine, and he told me that there are entire towns over there where it's predominantly men, in fact, entirely men, actually, preparing to defend their country. But presumably, if you go to Albania, the opposite is true. It's just town after town of women waving pitchforks and handguns at an imaginary enemy. I am sick and tired of being gaslit by a liberal mob who are telling us that every day, everybody coming over the Channel is a refugee or an asylum seeker, and that if you don't believe that, well, then you are a frothing racist. No, I've had enough of it. Facts are facts, and the fact is that Britain is there for the taking. Our asylum policy is being exploited by human traffickers who are importing thousands of economic migrants who cost the taxpayer millions of pounds in legal fees, clog up the social housing system, now even the lower end of the private rental market as well, increase the burden on our public services and, in some cases, join violent, organised crime gangs. In my opinion, many of the people who like to virtue signal about, refugees welcome and call anyone who wants tougher border controls a racist are, in fact, dangerous, hypocritical fantasists. If someone knocks on the door of their leafy home county's detached house, hello, I live down the road, actually, in a much worse house than you, but I like your house and I'd like to live here now. Well, they wouldn't let them in, would they? Of course they wouldn't. If someone knocks on their door and says, here we go. Hi there. Hi. I won't tell you who I am or where I'm from, but I'm asking you to just believe me when I say that I need to live here now in your house for my own safety. Well, they'd say no, wouldn't they? And yet they want this country to say yes. The irony is that clamours for an open-door policy, which is essentially basically what we've got now, isn't it, in the Channel, means that there might actually be less space for genuine refugees and asylum seekers. So it's completely self-defeating. I've had enough, frankly, of being told there are just 2 types of people in this country when it comes to what's happening in the Channel. Bad people who want tighter controls and good people who want to let everybody in. From where I'm sitting, there is absolutely nothing good whatsoever about endangering your national security, fuelling organised crime and increasing the burden on already struggling taxpayers.